Hi and welcome to Shiz Crafters Say. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a upcycled t-shirt into a pillow. Not this style, but something with a little bit of frill to it. It's cut around my image. Leaving about an inch to an inch and a half around it. Now there are various ways to do this, but I find that I like a little flare to the edges. So I sew on the outside and around so I can cut the edges down to add a little flare. However, I do sew down have an inner stitch on the sides. So I flip my piece of cloth, the front of my t-shirt that has the image, over so it's facing the other piece of fabric, because I'm going to sew down the sides for this. What I'm going to do is pin along about where I want a hem for this. I'm going to go with right around a ½ inch off of the edge of the image, so that I still get a bit of pink going through. Now I just want to go through and clean up my edge a little bit here, specifically along this edge, because they're uneven, so when I go to cut for the tassel, it would be uneven and I don't want that. So just a light cut around the edge, so we have an even edge. When we start sewing down this edge, we actually want to come off a little bit so that when we sew across on the outside, we can still flare that out with the tassel. So let's say about ¾ of an inch down. Alright. And this all varies upon how you want to do it. I'm just going to do a simple stitch. Starting off, we always want to do a back stitch so that our hem doesn't fall out. Pull out our needles as we go along, our pins. And you want to go till about ¾ of an inch. inch off of the image, and you want to back stitch here again. Now that we've done that side, we can move along to the next side. And there you go. We've got both sides of these sewn up, making sure we've got both sides sewn up, making sure that we have a back stitch at the end of both sides. So once we have both of our sides sewn up, we want to kind of clean it up. Going and cutting off any excess thread that we have from our sewing. That's what I'm doing now. Okay. And then cleaning up our edge a little bit, bringing down the excess a little bit. You're going to do this on each side. Now, we're going to flip this sucker inside out. And work on our flared edges. So, we're just going to stick with a, simple stitch, but maybe a little bit more decorative. We're going to come down a little into our previous stitch. About a ½ inch off of the image. First, we're going to do a small back stitch. And then we're going to add our decorative element. We're going to have a back stitch at the inside as well. Alright, here we go. Now, we're going to pin along and cut edge also. About a ½ inch off of the image, so that we can hem in after we put in some fill. And you want to do this about halfway through to the other edge, like so. And you just start pulling your fill out, taking it and stuffing it into the side. Might be a little too much. Stuffing it into the side that we left open for our hand to fill. See, already getting volume. There we go. We're pretty darn close to being done. You just have to sew up this edge. I'm going to stuff this down a little bit so we have some room to work with when we put it through our sewing machine again. And again, you want to do a back stitch when you're starting off. So forward and then back, pressing that button there. And then once you're back towards the beginning of our pillow edge, we go to our decorative stitch, stitch it out, pulling out our pins as we go. Now that we have our pillow all sewn up, I'm going to clean up our threads. Okay, I'm going to fluff our pillow so everything is full. Looking pretty good, huh? And then I want to add a little bit of tassel. And there you go. You have yourself a nice little frilly pillow.